Hey YouTubers, just a short one today and something a little bit different. I kind of just wanted to have a little bit of a chat about a particular technical thing in determining the difference between Chet Atkins picking, or Chet picking as I like to call it, and Travis picking. Firstly, I'd start by saying there's not a huge difference between the two. Both are, a finger style based around a slightly country feel, where you've got a bass line and some kind of melody. Just making something up there, but you get the idea. So a little while ago, I've posted some videos on learning to play the Chet style using some nursery rhymes. And I feel like this is a really useful and helpful way to do it, because you're taking things that are familiar and you're applying it to that style. So, you get the point. And someone commented in the comments, I can't actually remember the name of the commenter, not super important, but he pointed out that I'm not teaching the Chet Atkins style, I'm actually teaching Travis picking. And I said, well, not really, because there's a little bit more to it, and it would be misleading to describe what I'm teaching here as Travis picking and not Chet picking. And he answered fairly, but he did sort of passive-aggressively say, I'm not being misleading calling your Travis picking lesson Travis picking. Now, the thing is, if that's great, if you've just been, and watched a Paul David's video, or some of the videos out there that introduce you to Travis picking, maybe you read about it on Wikipedia, you will learn pretty quickly that, yes, Merle Travis used the 6/4, whereas Chet Atkins often used 6/4 5/4, okay, in terms of the strings that he was picking and the bass lines that he was playing. But there's so much more that differentiates Travis picking from Chet picking. For example, Chet Atkins might use that slightly different pattern, but it didn't distinguish him entirely, because he often used that same pattern as Merle Travis, where he'd use 6/4 6/4. Let's look at Mr. Sandman, for example. For every root 6 chord there, he was actually using 6/4 6/4, and he wasn't using the 6/4 5/4 pattern. Okay, so to really get into a little bit more detail about the difference between Chet picking and Travis picking, I want to show you just a couple of things. Firstly, when we do the Chet style things, we will use 3 fingers. If you want to play exactly like Merle Travis, he actually only used 1 finger, which was pretty crazy, because Chet Atkins thought that Merle Travis used 3 fingers, and that's how he kind of developed his style, which is a really cool fact. So Merle Travis might go with 1 finger, where Chet Atkins might go. So that's one small difference there. The other thing is that, yes, Chet Atkins might have gone. I messed that up a little bit, but again, you get the idea. 6/4 5/4. I'm making up melodies. It's not something that I've sat down and thought about too hard. So, and by the way, that comes from years of playing both, Chet picking and Travis picking styles, learning various songs, and coming up with my own ones as well. That's kind of how you develop that independence, in case you're wondering. But moving right along, some of the things that really make a massive difference between Chet and Travis is Merle Travis also, if he played a root 5 chord, he actually just kind of scraped the pick across the 6th and the 5th string, which it's a fantastic sound. I really should have thought about what I was going to play before I did this video, but again, this is not about me playing perfect. This is just about getting this message across that there is more to the differences between Chet picking and Travis picking than just the patterns that we use. There's so much more. So 2 main things there. Merle Travis only used 1 finger. Merle Travis sort of scratched along the string, playing a lot of the root 5 chords. and in the Root 6 examples, yes, he did often sit on 6/4, 6/4, where Chet Atkins would often use a 6/4, 5/4 pattern. But as you can see, often Chet used the 6/4 anyway. He only occasionally used the 6/4, 5/4 pattern when he played over a Root 6 chord, or a chord that has its root note on the 6th string. Also, when you're using the 5th string, that little alternating pattern there, no, Merle Travis didn't use that so much. I think he kind of generally held both bass notes, and like I said, just sort of scratched across both. So I've got a mono recording of an early Merle Travis album, and yeah, having extensively listened to that and played along with that, they're kind of the things I noticed were the main differences. So I hope that clears a few things up. It's a really these topics don't need to be contentious at all, but sometimes they can be, so I just want to throw that out there. If you enjoyed this, check out my lessons on the Chet picking stuff, and yes, have no fear, you'll be learning to pick like Chet Atkins, and they will be building into that. In fact, I've got a lesson coming out soon on a Chet Atkins blues that should be nice and simple. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.